Hey everybody, it's been a few days since I've done a vlog. I've been super busy for a couple of reasons. Number one, I've been working on the Python course. I think so far I've put out 9 videos and about 50 minutes of content. Now you have to understand something about my video tutorials. When I'm producing a video tutorial for use within StudioWeb, they're far more detailed. Let me change that. There's much more work to build those because they have to be built according to a particular structure that StudioWeb is designed to use. And this particular structure is required when you're teaching younger students, middle school and up. So what happens in the end, all the extra work I have to put into to create these courses that are structured for StudioWeb, it comes out in the end, you get a far easier to understand course. So it's very effective, but it's a lot more work, so it's really exhausting. To put it in perspective, making a vlog like this where I discuss a particular topic is easy. It's nothing compared to building a StudioWeb video course, that's for sure. So that's taken up a lot of my time. Also, I'm about to head out to the west coast of California on a business trip and some relaxation, a bit of both, and I'll be gone for about a week. I'll try to put some vlogs in the can if I can. I don't know if I will. I don't know if I have time, so I may be incognito for a few days, more than a few days. Unfortunately, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be bringing my vlogging camera, so I have to see about all that. But anyway, that's the story with that. With the Python course itself, where I have this open beta that's going on, I stopped the number of people participating at 70, and there's a lot more who wanted to join in. Unfortunately, I didn't think I could handle that much more. But the participation is there. We're getting decent amount of comments, not great. So in a few days or a week, if I see that the participation of those who signed up they're really not engaging in the way I had hoped, or at least enough in terms of comments and so on, I might be opening it up to a few more people. My goal is to basically get feedback from people as I put out the videos so that I can refine them even more. I may re-record particular videos, edit them slightly differently based on the feedback I get from people. So that's kind of useful. For me, it allows me to get feedback upfront before it's deployed live inside of schools. So that's kind of cool that way. So I've been using the new MacBook Pro 2016 with the touch bar 15-inch for, I don't know, about a month now, I suppose, whatever it is. And I have to say, whatever. It's the touch bar I barely ever used, although I'm not exactly a good person to talk about that because I just put my MacBook down, I got one dongle to connect it to my Thunderbolt display, and I use a wireless keyboard and mouse, and I hardly ever touch the keyboard on the laptop. I hardly ever use the touch bar. So it's really not that big of an issue for me. That said, I'm kind of glad that I went with the 2016 because A, it's significantly faster than the 2015 as far as I can tell in terms of my use case, and because you're starting to see all these USB Type-C peripherals come out, and that is not only the future, it's the now. So who knows, within 6 months or so, people will start thinking about, well, they won't be thinking about, they'll start forgetting about old USB and the old ports because all the new ports are coming out. And in fact, a camera that I'm considering for coursework and vlog work is the new GH5 from Panasonic, and guess what type of connection it has? Yep, it has a USB-C out, so you can connect it right into the MacBook Pro and transfer all your files. And I mentioned that because a lot of people were complaining about the MacBook Pro, and I was one of them. I was like, where's the SD card? Where's the SD card? Well, the newer cameras are all going to probably adopt the USB-C, so that's takes care of that issue. Here's a little story that you might find interesting as a developer. Yeah, so about 6 years ago, I decided to create the prototype for what is StudioWeb. So I put together the idea. I didn't write the code for it. I hired people to do that. but I paid very close attention to UX and UI. I actually micromanage that aspect of the app because these days I believe that the hurdles in terms of software development for the most part they're not infrastructure hurdles. They are much more UX and UI. What separates the great apps from the not so great apps is that the great apps have a superior user experience, superior user interface. Look at Apple. What really made the iOS stand out versus early versions of Android and other operating system was how easy it was to use, right? How easy it was to use, how pretty it was. People wanted to have these phones because they looked good and they ran well. And that's the thing about Apple still. Now, I have a Surface Pro 4 and Windows 10, great computer, a superior interface in the sense of its sophistication in that you can do pen input, touch input. The windowing is superior in terms of how it just basically works, its functionality. It's more advanced, I'll say, not superior, but more advanced. But if you look at Mac OS, it's just much more stable and consistent. Everything just works with Mac OS, relatively speaking. So when I got my new MacBook Pro 2016, and then I used that for pretty hardcore because I'm doing all these new videos now. And then I would jump back to the Surface Pro to do some other work, and it'd be annoying because sometimes you're just dragging a window, it works really smooth, boom, boom, boom in Windows, and all of a sudden it's glitch, 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 glitch. It just freezes, it gets stuck. You don't get any of that with Mac OS. So Windows is getting close. Boy, it's getting close, but they still got some little problems in terms of the functionality, just some little tiny problems. All right, that's it for this vlog. We shall move on.